Last week, we put up a video asking if certain NBA players in the past, at their primes, if they would be a top player in the current league. Would they be top 5 player? And there's one player that I'm just so shocked at that we're getting so much pushback on. I'm talking major pushback. We named Steve Nash, Tracy McGrady, Dwight Howard, Dwayne Wade, and Charles Barkley. My last guess in the world at the outrage and the anger would be at Steve Nash. Disrespectfully in these chats. Disrespectfully. So we're going to educate you guys on Steve Nash. I'm going to hand it off to my good friend, Eddie.
Yeah, because a lot of people were questioning our basketball knowledge.
And that's when it made me mad.
Because come sit in front of me and let me talk basketball with you. Because you're going to look very stupid very quickly. We appreciate the comments, though.
We love the good, the bad comments, but I think that you need to be educated about Steve Nash. I started seeing comparisons to Luka and compare
Steph
and to say that he would be better than guys like Jason Tatum today. So I just think that maybe you guys need to be. I don't know if Phoenix Suns fans were like living on our page. Keep on coming back.
People like Steve Nash.
Why?
I mean, because they relate to him. He's a small guy. He's not supposed to be doing what he's doing, and he was doing it.
He wasn't that good, and most people that
play basketball aren't that good.
Probably weren't that good at what they do either.
Right. The Steve Nash conspiracy. It's a funny thing with Steve Nash. It really, really, truly is. Steve Nash was a fun player to watch. You say what you want about Steve, he was a fun player to watch. You said it was the worst MVP in NBA history, right?
Ever.
Okay. Somebody said Derrick Rose, by the way, as an answer to that.
That's insane.
The most system player that's ever existed in NBA history is Steve Nash. And it's not even close, and it's not even a question. I'm going to shoot some quick rapid-fire numbers at you guys. Quick rapid-fire facts at you guys. Before D'Antoni, Steve Nash played 8 seasons. His averages totaled 12.6 points per game and 6 assists per game. That's not as good as Austin Reeves is today. Under D'Antoni, 18 points and 11 assists for 4 seasons. Under D'Antoni. James Harden also played 4 seasons under D'Antoni. He averaged 32, 9, and 7. The New York Knicks, when D'Antoni got the job in 2009, he had 9 guys that averaged in double-figure scoring. 9. There was 9 guys on the 2009, not 2019, 2009 New York Knicks who averaged double figures. In 2010, there was 7, and in 2011, there was 7. There was 6 guys who averaged over 15 points a game under Mike D'Antoni. Stephon Marbury, the year before Steve Nash got to Phoenix, averaged 21 and 9. Stephon Marbury. Raymond Felton, under Mike D'Antoni, averaged 17 and 9. Chris Duhon, under Mike D'Antoni as point guard, averaged 11 and 7, and Nate Robinson off the bench averaged 17 and 4. The year before Steve Nash got to the Suns, Stephon Marbury averaged 21 and 8, Sean Marion averaged 19, 9 and 3, Joe Johnson averaged 17, 4 and 4, and Amari Stoudemire averaged 21 and 9 as a second-year player. The years before Steve Nash got there. Clint Capella was damn near a 20 and 10 player under Mike D'Antoni. Jeremy Lin took over the planet for 3 weeks under Mike D'Antoni. You can't win an MVP in the NBA taking 11 shots a game. Over a guy who's averaging 35. Over a guy who was in his 3rd year, averaging 31, 7, and 8. You can't win back-to-back MVPs. You can't be an MVP over a guy who, when you played him in the playoffs, he went up 3-1 on you in the first fucking round and lost the next 3 to prove a point to his front office. And Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. You can't be MVP over that other guy, bro, when his best player was Smush Parker. Because Amari Stoudemire, without you, in New York, was an MVP candidate.
Sure was.
The year you won MVP, Sean Marion finished top 10 MVP voting, and Amari Stoudemire finished top 10 MVP voting. The year you won MVP, where you averaged 15 points a game. 15 points a game. 15.
But hey,
And before people say, oh, well, that's what the offense asked of them. It was the same offense that asked the same of James Harden. And James Harden averaged 33. We were asking about the top 5 guys in the league. What would Shai average in a Mike D'Antoni offense? Somebody tell me.
He's averaging.
Would it be less than 35? He's playing on a defense-first team, and he's averaging 32.
Literally.
Chris Duhon averaged a double-double damn near. Chris Duhon, bro, and respect to Chris Duhon.
bro, and
Raymond Felton was a 17-9 guy. Raymond Felton's numbers under Mike D'Antoni were similar to Steve Nash in Phoenix.
bro,
Come on, guys.
And I hate to do this. This isn't
Come on,
supposed
bro.
to shit on Steve Nash, but when
Come
I
on,
said
bro.
if he would be a top 5 player in this league,
Come on.
I don't think he's a top in his prime. I don't think he's a top 15 player in this league. He's pushing 15 closer than he is to 5. Actually, Swade, keep count. Let's do this real quick.
Point guards that are better than Steve Nash
No,
today.
no. We're not. We're gonna do players. I don't
Right.
think he is a top 15 player in this league. Player, just as a
Right.
player.
And I'll be fair.
We'll be fair. D. Mitch,
1,
No.
Jason Tatum.
No.
2,
Is he better than Jaylen Brown?
Give him Joe, bro. No problem.
Brunson,
No.
3,
Cat. We'll give him that.
Give him.
Even though it's
Give him.
Paulo. We don't know yet. Well, but
Probably not.
probably not. But don't add that. Giannis,
4,
Absolutely not.
Lillard.
No.
5,
Oh, his comp, Tyrese Halliburton.
Maybe.
That's
sure.
who he
Give it to
is.
him.
That's
Sure.
who he is,
Give it to him.
guys.
Sure.
Jimmy Butler,
In his prime, no. Absolutely not.
Bam Adebayo,
He's better than Bam.
Cade.
No.
He's not better than Cade.
7,
He's absolutely not better than
Trey Young,
No, absolutely not better than Trey Young.
Zach LaVine.
give it to him.
Bro, from 3 years ago, no. But now, sure.
Sure.
No problem.
Embiid,
Absolutely not.
Paul George,
Absolutely not.
10,
Maxey,
Absolutely not.
11,
LaMelo,
No.
12,
Shai,
13,
We're getting to the are you crazy parts of the list.
Ja,
now.
14,
Joker,
15,
Luka,
16,
Kyrie,
17,
LeBron James,
18,
Anthony Davis,
19,
Austin Reeves.
Sure.
Sure, maybe. Harden,
20,
No, Harden's better than him.
Kawhi Leonard,
Kawhi when healthy is better.
21.
Anthony Davis.
You already said 80.
I'm so sorry. Edwards,
22,
Durant is better. Kevin Durant is better.
23,
Wemby,
24,
Wemby's better.
Curry,
25,
Darren Fox,
26,
Devin Booker,
27,
Zion.
When
28.
healthy, sure.
Do you see where we're at?
Mind you, he wasn't top 5 when he played.
Thank you.
People are upset saying, oh, why don't we have him top 5 today? He wasn't top 5 when he played. Motherfucker, there was people on that list that we named Charles Barkley and Dwayne Wade, and they didn't get the same outrage. Charles fucking Barkley didn't get the same outrage as Steve Nash did.
I don't understand.
Do you
why
remember when we did
Steve
that
Nash-
list, the top 25 list in the NBA? People were more upset at Steve Nash over guys like T-Mac.
Yes.
Over guys like T-Mac and Carmelo,
and to
bro.
the people that say, oh, in this league where people shoot a lot more threes and he would shoot a lot more threes, and you compare him to a guy like Luka, Steve Nash could never be the creator of his own shot than some of these guys like Luka or like Harden that played in that same system that in the Mike D'Antoni system. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
All
here?
I had to see, bro, was what his production looked like before Mike D'Antoni, and I seen everything I had to
But
see.
Hetty, even
He
with his production with
averaged
Mike D'Antoni, it's not like
12 and
Eddie,
6.
what was his production
He
with
was
him?
a role player. Steve Nash is a great player. He was a role player before Mike D'Antoni. He averaged 12 and 6. And for people to be like, oh, well, it was 8 fucking seasons before Mike D'Antoni. It wasn't 1 or 2.
And
bro.
with D'Antoni, he averaged 18. And
15,
About to say
17 and
something so
11.
disres- what's the difference
Raymond
between them?
Felton averaged 17 and 9. And no disrespect to Raymond Felton, he was a dog. He averaged 17 and 9 under Mike D'Antoni. Jeremy Lin took over the NBA for 3 weeks.
Stop
Clinton
it.
Capella
Don't.
had his career years, bro. Clinton Capella's a role player, my baby.
And we didn't want to do this to Steve Nash. We really, really didn't. We really, really didn't.
But we're going to, and we did.
But why? But when you start putting his name with Luka, then I gotta start coming at you.
Here's the issue. You said something last episode about NFL. You gotta add context. It's a lot easier to understand football than it is basketball. It's a lot easier.
Are you saying people don't understand basketball? Well?
I'm saying people, the average Joe,
As fans,
as a casual fan, has a grasp on NFL. It's a lot easier to have a grasp on the NFL than it is to have a grasp on the NBA. Because if you show a random person the NBA right now, you usually have him sit down and watch an NBA game. Everybody looks athletic. Everybody looks really good. There's no context they could add. Zero.
True.
If I showed you that Dallas-LA game that we lost the money line on, and I showed you PJ Washington, and I showed you LeBron, there's nothing that I could say to convince you that LeBron was better than PJ Washington. Nothing.
Even when he did the switch the hands.
Yes. Nothing.
Oh, nothing. Okay.
Because PJ then you had a 20-point double-double.
I know.
There's nothing I could show you to be like, yes, he's actually better. You're going to just be like, no, they look the same thing, bro. It's hard to grasp NBA. It's hard to analyze the NBA in a contextual way, in a smart way, bro. I know why people jump on the Steve Nash thing, because Steve Nash was super fucking cool as a basketball player. It was a cool offense. It was fun to watch. It was a lot of points put up, and it looked really good, and it looked really flashy. It won nothing. It won nothing. What's Steve Nash ever won in his career? How close has he even gotten?
one of you.
How close has he even gotten? Bro? Kobe beat you at 33. He beat you at 28. He beat you at 21. Who were you running into? You're running to the Spurs? Like, who? Why didn't you win anything? What's your excuse? What's your excuse?
Oh, the excuse was?
You won 60 games
is
every
he
year.
wasn't good enough.
What's your excuse, bro?
He wasn't good
You want to
enough.
know what it was? It's because when he got to the playoffs and he played a real defense and he played a real NBA team,
Exactly.
they stopped it. Kobe Bryant went up 3-1 on the 60-win Phoenix Suns team and threw the last 3 games to make a point to his front office, bro.
But
I
hey,
want you to think about that.
I'm not going to give these people that out, though. There's no way that you watch Steve Nash and then 15 years later, 10, however long
It's
it was.
nostalgia, bro.
There's no way that you
It's
watched
nostalgia.
Steve Nash and then watched Luka and said he can be a guy like Luka. Like that's not content. That's an agenda behind it. There's something there. Like I don't get it.
Let's do this real quick. You brought up those guys. Let's do this. When he was playing, name me a name that wasn't better than Steve Nash when he was playing. Right? Stop me. Dirk.
He was better than him.
Dirk was better than him, right?
Yeah.
Put your finger up. Dirk. Kobe Bryant.
2,
Tim Duncan.
3,
LeBron James.
4,
Tracy McGrady.
5,
Gilbert Arenas.
6,
Kevin Garnett.
7,
Shaq.
8,
Dwayne Wade.
9,
Carmelo Anthony.
10.
Amari Stoudemire.
Amari was a better player than
Okay,
him.
11.
Chris Bosh.
Yes.
And these are guys, Tony Parker.
Tony Parker, 100%.
I heard
And,
Kevin Garnett.
and these are guys, by the way, I'm not even naming like a young Kevin Durant, bro. You understand? I'm not like Allen Iverson ain't on this list, but he was in that NBA.
That 06,
You see what I'm saying?
those
Yes,
years.
bro. Yes, bro. Like the Detroit Pistons, that year that he won the MVP, wouldn't have traded Chauncey Billups for him, bro. Detroit wouldn't have given up Chauncey Billups for Steve Nash, bro. No, they wouldn't
know
have.
they would have
No, they
not.
wouldn't have, bro. No, they wouldn't have, bro.
So Steve Nash was playing in an offense at that time. Mike D'Antoni started this thing where you have to shoot the ball. It was like the 10-second rule.
And by the way, what the fuck happened? We grew up understanding that.
Yeah.
We grew up understanding those numbers are inflated. We always said it when we were young. By the way, people think we're young. All these guys must have. Bro, we're 30.
Really, by the way,
I was 17 years old when Steve Nash was in his prime,
really
bro. But,
efficient-
like, he wasn't like that.
really efficient player, but he was primarily a pick and roll player. You couldn't just.
What's the difference between him and Rajon Rondo?
He was a better shooter than him.
Somebody tell me, like, he brought up this point. I don't know the answer to it. Why is he better than Trae Young? Honest to God, why is he better than Trae Young?
Trae Young is better than him.
Bro, Trae Young under Mike D'Antoni's offense would legit, real
Trae
talk,
Young
average
took-
30 and 15.
just-
You want to know how I know that? Because he's averaging
doing it right
28 and
now.
11 now.
And he took his team to an Eastern Conference championship without
Yes,
an Amari
bro.
Stoudemire.
Yes.
Man, he didn't. Like, come
Yes,
on, bro.
bro.
I didn't want to do this to Steve Nash, but you guys kept on going, and my phone keeps on going off too. Stop.
By the way,
he wasn't that good.
Be like that commenter. One of our viewers asked us a serious question. He said, serious, like, no trolling. Like, why is D-Wade better than Shai? Conversations like that No, I love it. No problem. It's a question. Whatever it is, I forgot about even answering. I was supposed to answer on the spot. I forgot about even answering it. But if you want the truth, I'm going to sum it up for you. I'm going to sum it up. D-Wade did at 23 years old what Shai's still attempting to do to this day. And that's not taking any accolades out. No MVPs, nothing. What Shai is still trying to do to this day, D-Wade did it in year 3. Anyways.
Look at these comments. If Steve Nash adapted to the three-point system nowadays, he would thrive. Nash would average 25 and 12 in this era.
Yeah, right.
Nash deserved both MVPs. I'll die in this hill. Man turned around a 29 team to a 62-win team with pretty much the same roster and same coach.
Are we missing something? Are we seriously missing something?
Steve Nash with a smaller version of Luka. Looks not athletic, but destroys everyone.
He's won nothing. Who's he destroyed?
Nash
What's he
is
destroyed,
childish.
bro?
His game was hoop. IQ was always elite.
Whose IQ was always elite?
Nash take was hideous. Dude averaged 24 and 12 today. And even if he did average 24 and 12, there's like 10 other players
Exactly,
that do that now.
bro.
What are you talking about, buddy?
You know how many guys are averaging 20 and 10 right now?
A lot.
29, let's say.
lot.
Let's break it down to 20 and 9.
A lot.
like,
A lot.
come on, bro.
It's a different league. It was a whole different league. They're like, I mean,
They had by far, in a way, the fastest pace in the NBA year in and year out, bro. You don't think that's going to do something for your numbers?
but what numbers? He barely, his numbers are.
And my man,
But everybody around him. My baby, he had 2 guys that were averaging 20 and 8.
he's a
on his team.
bro. He's a really good player, but just because I put him on a list and then it said he would be top 5 right now, it said that he's the worst MVP winner. I just didn't say that because I have like this agenda of hate against Steve Nash. It's just true. Like people brought up Embiid's. What Embiid averaged 30,
32 and like 13. or
What are we
something, 32,
doing?
12.
What are we talking about? No, he's the worst one, and I don't say that every time. Every time you put the camera on Shaq, he has to bring it up. Like what?
And there's more than just Shaq saying it about those MVPs that have mentioned about those MVPs.
He got 1 MVP.
2. Back to back.
If
got
Steve
two
Nash
back to
averaged
back.
He
24,
robbed Kobe and then robbed Dirk.
You robbed a lot of people.
he robbed everybody.
You robbed a
I
lot of
remember those years. Yeah, he robbed Kobe. Clearly robbed Kobe, and then
You robbed Kobe, LeBron, and Dirk all in the same year. That same year he won MVP. LeBron finished 2nd, Kobe finished 3rd.
That's insane.
LeBron was averaging 31, 7, and 8 and dragging those Cleveland bums deep in the playoffs every year. And Kobe Bryant was averaging 35, 5, and 5 and took his bum of a franchise to the playoffs that year.
That's insane.
And Steve Nash was on a 10-second or less offense. That's worked for Clint Capella.
All right, we're not gonna waste any more time talking about Mr. Steve Nash.
People just like, bro, like it's so easy to comment, just this throw some shit.
Yeah.
It's different when you
And
gotta,
I love it.
It's different when
Please.
you gotta
back it up.
To
face
all
it.
our viewers, please keep on commenting. We love it, but we're gonna come
I
back
always
at
used to
you.
ask, I was like, bro, why doesn't First Take ever do like a cool thing where like they bring like a guest on to argue? And then I understood, oh, okay, that's why.
That's exactly why.
Because maybe somebody would say that Steve Nash looks
better than
like
Luka.
Luka. You know what I'm saying? That's why.
Then they
Like,
gotta shut it down.
That's actually
because
crazy.
how many people would get the remote and click off? I would.
He wasn't, but the thing is, he wasn't top 10 in his own
I
era.
know, bro. That's,
how is he top
And the league
5
is better
here?
now.
How's he top 5
The
here?
point guards are better now.
Like, how is he better? Who did they want out of the 5 instead of, like, who did they want to put him for?
I asked.
So who is it?
I think most people brought up Tatum.
In what world is Steve Nash better than Jason Tatum, bro?
And even if you don't want Tatum, what world is he better than Embiid if you don't want to put Tatum?
How is he
in?
better than what LeBron is today?
He's not. We counted 25 people,
28. We weren't
28
even
people,
done.
and there's like second options on some
then there's
teams.
people on the
LeBron at this age in the Mike D'Antoni offense still averages 31 and 11 today.
I mean, he's averaging 25 on a JJ
25
Redick
and 9. That's what
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Today would average 30 and 11 on that offense. Today. And LeBron's arguably, some people don't even have top 10 anymore.
This year.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
When I was curious, I was like, who did they want to kick out?
Yeah, it's
Because
bad.
you ain't taking Joker out. You ain't taking Giannis
I
out.
can't take nobody else.
You ain't taking Luka out. You damn sure ain't taking Shai out. You ain't taking Ant out. You ain't taking Tatum out. Who are you taking? Who's the 5? Like, who is he? Where does he rank? I'm so scared to even ask, okay, where does he rank? Because you're going to hear some 2s and 3s.
Yeah, bro. Where?
Because people like nostalgia is a motherfucker. You think nostalgia is better in the NFL? It's terrible in the NBA, bro. It's fucking
At least when
terrible
people
in the
talk
NBA,
about nostalgia, they're backing it up with Peyton Manning and
like,
at least those
You
guys,
think
yeah,
it's bad
sure.
in the NFL,
you know,
in the NBA, it's pretty fucking terrible.
there's
bro.
a case. Steve Nash,
Yeah.
they bypassed when we said that, like,
By the way, Steve Nash had an impact on the league.
yes.
When we
bro.
were growing up, Steve Nash was cool. He was really cool, bro.
just
There was a lot of Steve Nash jerseys, if you remember. He was like a cool guy, but why was he a cool guy, though? It's a podcast, just be honest.
He was just one of us.
He was a smaller guy. He wasn't like this uber athletic guy. A lot of Americans related to him because he was the same skin color as them, bro. And it was cool seeing. It was like a great white hope all over again. But again, you need to add context to it. Because when I go back and look, I don't give a fuck about your skin color, bro. I don't give a fuck about anything that doesn't relate to basketball. All I care about is basketball. How did you look as a basketball player? That's all I care about. And how you looked as a basketball player doesn't match up with these first fucking 6 guys in this league.
Like 25, you mean?
Whatever. Because there was guys on that list, maybe we're being a little disrespectful to Steve Nash.
No.
But there's like 10 guys where it's like not even...
Yeah.
All,
Well,
all those
it's not
guys
even
that we
close.
named, there's no way Steve Nash comes remotely close to them.
How's Steve Nash better than Cade Cunningham?
He's not.
Tell me how.
He's not, though. But he's
No,
not,
Wallah, tell me how.
Steve Nash couldn't create his own shot,
How is-
boys.
how
What are we
is Steve-
talking about?
4 years ago, Paul George. How is Steve Nash better than that, bro?
Guys, Steve Nash cannot create. He couldn't create it. You know how we call wide receivers slot? He was a pick and roll merchant.
Yeah, he was. Wallah, he was.
I swear he was.
In the playoffs, when they took away his pick and roll, he was cooked.
Yes,
he was
he
fried.
was. He
Well,
could.
there's three players on New York that wouldn't take him over Steve Nash.
But there's like I'm not taking Steve Nash over LaMelo Ball.
I'm not either.
No,
I know Mike.
man.
People hear that and think it's clickbait. Oh boy, it's not clickbait, bro. I really truly believe that. I don't think he's a scorer that LaMelo Ball is. And again, I'm seeing LaMelo average 25 and 9 on a bad team. Like if you gave him 3 20-point scorers
enough.
under a 10-second or less offense, what does that look like?
You know,
bro?
it was a great thing. It was a
I
great.
saw Raymond Felton average 17 and 9. Don't tell me LaMelo's not going to average 30 and 10. Sorry.
It was a great thing to see. One the good things about unfortunately, Mike D'Antoni getting fired so much as we've seen him go to a lot of different teams.
Mm-hmm.
I seen James Harden with less talent most times than what the Suns did, and the motherfucker was averaging almost like 35. And
He was doubling the production.
Yeah,
Bro. He was doubling it.
stop it, brothers. Stop it,
There's
brothers
so
and
many
sisters.
other players we missed as
Well, consider yourselves educated.
No, they're not.
We'll bring you
They're
guys
just gonna
back
cuss
to
outside
class,
anymore.
and you guys can come back. But watch this full thing. I'll post this full video. It's gonna be. You know what the title of it is gonna be? The Case of Steve Nash.
Yeah, well,
It just really, really is. I had to do it. I had to. Steve Nash fans and Bill Mafia. They're
coming for your head.